Welcome back to the deep dive. You gave us the sources, and today we are diving deep into a real modern horror classic.
Yeah, the Creepypasta known as 1999.
Exactly. Some people call it Mr. Bear's Cellar, or maybe Caledon Local 21.
Right.
And this one, it isn't about ghosts or monsters in the usual sense. It's this incredibly detailed, chilling account of human evil, just sort of hiding in plain sight on, like, the fringes of old TV.
That's what makes it so effective. Our source material is basically the narrator's personal blog.
Yeah.
This guy, Elliot, investigating a really fragmented, disturbing memory from when he was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And the story works, I think, because it feels so meticulously researched, even though, it's fiction. It tracks Elliot's quest to understand this really weird, low-budget, public access kids show he stumbled onto in the late 90s.
Hosted by a man in a terribly cheap teddy bear suit.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so that's our mission for this deep dive. We're following Elliot's journey, trying to find closure. We'll look at the timeline, how it goes from this fuzzy childhood memory to him finally uncovering this horrifying, though fictional, crime that supposedly shut down this bizarre local channel.
Right.
All right, let's dig into the initial setup. Because the author uses these really specific details, to ground the horror in something that feels, well, real.
The setting is absolutely crucial. Elliot, he's 5 years old. It's 1999. He's living in Brampton, Ontario.
Okay.
His dad gets him one of those classic small boxy TVs.
Yeah.
A boob tube with the rabbit ears.
Yeah.
So he can watch stuff in his room.
Right, I remember those.
Yeah. And the key detail is that this old TV, it only picked up maybe 20 channels. And eventually, just by fiddling around, he finds this super obscure Channel 21.
That detail narratively, it's brilliant. It just immediately isolates the whole experience, doesn't it?
Totally.
Making Caledon Local 21 only viewable on this weak frequency, needing old rabbit ears, it makes it completely plausible that almost nobody saw it. Just a few scattered viewers.
It's the perfect setup for a lost episode story. It creates that instant, intimacy and scarcity.
Right.
So Caledon Local 21, supposedly broadcast out of Caledon, Ontario, only ran from October 97 to August 99, and only in the evening, 4 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Limited hours.
Very limited. And Elliot remembers the content was just consistently low quality, poorly shot, really unsettling.
And the shows themselves were just out there. The main one was Mr. Bear's Cellar, featuring this man who apparently wasn't very good at hiding he was a man in this moth-eaten bear costume.
Right. And every day he supposedly invites a new child visitor into his dark basement, filmed on a camcorder. That
camcorder aesthetic, the dark cellar, it just screams low-budget public access from that time.
It really does. Elliot remembered one episode specifically where Mr. Bear plays hide-and-seek and shoves two kids into this big pitch-black closet. Just off.
Super off. But then there were the other little shows, the interstitials, which were maybe even stranger.
Yeah, like that short one, Soup and Spoon.
Mm.
Elliot didn't watch it much, he said, but the ending image really stuck with him.
What was it?
Just a table, maybe 7 kids sitting there, all looking really frightened, just staring right at the camera.
Oh, wow.
While a can of soup and a spoon just dangle on strings above them. And the cameraman asks, "Spoon's ready."
And the kids.
They never spoke, just looked terrified.
Yeah.
So even the seemingly mundane stuff was just soaked in this threatening vibe.
And then Elliot did some digging years later, right? On forums?
Yeah, on Neoseeker forums. And he found mentions of other weird shows from Caledon Local 21, things like The Fallen Angel and Life.
What was that?
Described as just some guy rambling, telling viewers they had to, quote, please Satan and appease him.
Okay, that's direct.
And another one, Paint with the Soul. Apparently it was like Blair Witch-style footage, just the cameraman wandering around a dark forest at night.
So the whole channel wasn't just cheap, it felt purposefully unsettling, almost like it was broadcasting something coded, for a specific weird audience.
Exactly. It perfectly sets the stage for the real human monster that gets revealed later. It's not supernatural. It's a person using the anonymity of crappy regional TV as a mask.
Okay, so here's where Elliot's own life sort of bumps right into this fictional horror. As the channel was nearing its end, August 1999, they stopped showing their regular programs. For the entire month, they just played one segment, episode 28, over and over, 5 hours a day.
Wow, just looping.
Just looping. In episode 28, Mr. Bear is sitting alone, not in the cellar, but in front of some badly painted backdrop. And he just keeps delivering this simple message.
What did he say? Basically, hello, kids. Do you want to visit my cellar? If you do, please write me a letter at this address. And then he lists a physical address.
And 5-year-old Elliot. Oh, no.
Yep. Motivated by just that pure, naive kid curiosity, he actually wrote a letter, said he wanted to meet Mr. Bear.
And he mailed it.
He mailed it, and he got a reply. August 15th, 1999.
What did the reply say?
It was a typed note. Son, Mr. Bear. Started off sounding kind of innocent, you know. I would love to have you in my cellar. We play games, watch movies.
Okay.
But then the note takes this really sharp, terrifying turn and go fire camping in the middle of the woods.
Oh, that phrase, fire camping, gives you chills knowing what comes next.
Exactly. Thankfully, Elliot didn't go by himself. His dad drove him to the address.
Which was?
An older, kind of dilapidated, boarded-up farmhouse way out in the Caledon farmland. That car ride, that was Elliot's lucky escape.
So they get there, and...
They didn't find Mr. Bear. They found a single police officer waiting there.
Just one.
Just one. Elliot's dad talked quietly with the officer, who apparently looked really strained, really stressed, and his dad immediately took Elliot back home.
Did Elliot ask about Mr. Bear?
He did. He asked if it was Mr. Bear's house, and the officer reportedly just sort of cringed and muttered, "Oh, God."
Wow, that reaction from the cop. It's such powerful shorthand, isn't it? Tells you everything you need to know about the danger without showing anything explicit.
It really is. It creates that feeling of relief, like, phew, close call. But it leaves the mystery hanging.
And Elliot didn't find out the actual truth for years.
Not until he was 13. He learned the guy who was both Mr. Bear and the cameraman, had vanished the night before the police were supposed to move in.
And the police figured out.
They determined his goal wasn't just, luring kids for abuse. It was something much darker, something ritualistic.
And the really deep, difficult truth, that only came out much later when Elliot did his serious investigation as an adult in 2009.
Right. He managed to track down his dad's friend, Mitchell Wilson, a retired Caledon regional officer who'd actually been involved in the original case back in '99.
And Wilson confirmed it all.
He confirmed the absolute horrifying reality of the fiction. The police had found 16 charred bodies of children, ages 4 to 13, found in this big 15 by 15-foot ditch deep in the woods near that farmhouse. The sheer scale of the fictional crime is what really elevates this story, I think.
16 victims. And the horror, it didn't just start in 1999, right? There was another witness.
Yeah. Elliot found another guy, Anthony Paulo, who used to live near those woods. Paulo remembered seeing the man, described him as really unkempt. Starting back in late 1997, which is right when the channel supposedly started broadcasting. He saw him taking groups of kids, like 13 to 17 kids at a time, into the woods for, quote, camping.
And Paulo heard things too.
Yeah. He reported hearing loud, really unsettling chanting coming from the woods at night, around a big fire pit, sometimes in a language he didn't recognize.
So that detail, it really solidifies the idea that the channel was like a recruitment tool for something ritualistic, not just random horror.
Exactly. It points to a deeper, more organized purpose behind it all.
The police obviously gathered physical evidence, but the most damning stuff, the real confirmation of the killer's intent that came from the media they confiscated.
Right. Mitchell Wilson, the retired cop, eventually allowed Elliot to view some of the original VHS tapes the police recovered from the farmhouse.
VHS tapes. Again, that choice. So perfectly late 90s, lo-fi, fragile, tangible, grounds it all.
Absolutely. And we probably need to walk through the timeline of the horror captured on those tapes, because this is where the story gets incredibly grim.
Okay, let's brace ourselves. Start with episode 25. Wilson called it the setup.
Right. In this tape, Mr. Bear is seen preparing 16 little shot glasses of orange juice.
Okay, innocent enough.
But then he carefully adds a single drop of an unknown liquid from a small bottle into each glass. Then he brings in all 16 victims.
Including
a kid, maybe 11 or 12, who looked noticeably bruised and had appeared in an earlier disturbing segment. All 16 kids drink the juice.
Which the police assumed was
a sedative. Or maybe even poison.
The visual of that, the orange juice, the calculation, it's just terrifying. It strips away any idea of fun and just reveals pure, deliberate malice.
It really does. Then we jump to episode 30. This one's filmed outside, around dusk.
Okay.
Mr. Bear is filming himself, talking in that muffled costume voice about delivering his friends to a faraway land. He pans the camera, and you see an ATV pulling a trailer.
In the trailer.
7 children, lying motionless, side by side.
Oh, God.
Then he shows the big, deep hole, the pit, covered by a tarp, and next to it, several plastic bottles of gasoline.
The description from the source is just awful.
It is. Mr. Bear simply drops the unconscious children one by one into this 12-foot deep pit.
And then he focuses the camera on the gasoline.
Yeah, and says something truly chilling, that the vitamin C will surely help these children on the great journey that awaits them.
The gasoline is the vitamin C. It's just perverse, almost ritualistic word twisting.
It is. But the absolute peak of the horror, that came in episode 31. Wilson was really reluctant to show Elliot this tape, said it was disturbing and graphic.
Well, understandably. What did it show?
It's shot at night. The camera pans towards this faint flickering light deep in the woods.
A fire.
As the cameraman gets closer, it becomes clear it's a massive, intense fire pit. Elliot described seeing, well, shapes moving around, fluttering, flailing, burning flesh.
So the culmination of the ritual, captured by the killer himself.
Exactly. Documented. The video eventually cuts to dawn. The fire's out, but smoke is still rising from the pit.
And the final image. The very end of this whole fictional saga.
It's intensely ritualistic and really potent. The empty, moth-eaten Mr. Bear suit, just laid out flat on the ground, shaped like a cross.
Like a cross.
Yeah. And at the head of the suit, where the head would be, there's a sign. Just simple, bold red letters, INRI.
INRI. Isis Nazarenus, Rexi Udarum, Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews.
Right. But repurposed here, not as faith, but as this final horrific signature on a ritualistic mass murder. Incredibly sacrilegious imagery.
So we pull back a bit, look at the bigger picture. This story, written initially by Camden Lamont, right? It's arguably the defining example of the modern lost episode creepypasta genre. It just masterfully uses that idea of lost media, of obscurity, to make an extreme fictional event feel chillingly authentic.
And what makes it unique, I think, is how it gets its horror across. It's different from things like Ben Drowned or Abandoned by Disney.
How so?
Because it relies solely on the human monster. There's no ghost, no curse, no supernatural power involved or needed. The horror is purely grounded in the calculated ritualistic cruelty of one person hidden behind a mask.
That's probably why it resonates so deeply, isn't it? It feels disturbingly possible.
I think so. And its journey shows how effective it was. Early drafts popped up around 2009, but it really exploded, like 2014, when big YouTube narrators started reading it.
It jumped from that niche internet horror corner into more mainstream awareness.
Totally. It even got adapted into an Amazon show in 2017. Lamont, the original author, was involved as an executive producer.
And the line between the fiction and reality even started to blur for Elliot, the narrator, himself.
Yeah, he kept getting these prank emails, right? From addresses like returnthelube@hotmail.com.
And his blog got hacked.
Right, hacked with this strange poem signed Mr. B, and it included that final, unforgettable INRI image. Spooky stuff.
So Elliot's journey, it starts as just trying to figure out this weird show he saw on an old TV in Brampton. And it evolves into this complex narrative about uncovering a fictional mass cult murder carried out by a monster hiding inside a cheap bear costume.
Yeah.
The core insight here, maybe, is how the story's success really comes from tapping into media nostalgia, setting the terror on this cheap, regional, easily forgotten platform like Caledon Local 21.
Right.
It suggests the real monsters aren't just in old castles or cursed games. Sometimes they're lurking in the obscure corners of the media we vaguely remember from childhood.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And it definitely raises an important question for you, the listener, to think about. Well, if a fictional local broadcast could theoretically attract followers and definitely inspire a viral horror story years later, what really defines a lost episode? How many unsettling memories of just weird, obscure media might only exist in the minds of a few scattered people?
It makes you wonder about those strange little shows you half remember from when you were a kid, doesn't it?
Exactly. The story reminds us that sometimes the simplest, lowest budget delivery system can carry the heaviest, most disturbing message. Elliot's fictional research might keep going, but our deep dive into the unsettling truth behind 1999.